Greetings and congratulations, Gateway School Class of 2020. It goes without saying that none of us could have predicted the pandemic events of these past several months and that we would not be able to hold so many of our activities, events, and our traditional commencement exercises. But please know, nothing, not even our current circumstances, can diminish your accomplishments and achievements over the many years that have brought you to this point in your lives. Therefore, it is with great pleasure and pride that I officially present the graduating class of 2020 of Gateway School. The Board of Education of Carroll County, Principal Wetzel, and I certify that these graduates have successfully completed all the requirements for a Maryland high school diploma or certificate. Once again, congratulations, Gateway School Class of 2020.
Hello, I'm Brian Wetzel, Principal at Gateway. I would like to welcome all who may be watching this video, students, parents, family, and friends. I know this may not be the way you wanted to have your graduation ceremony, but let's focus on the positive. You've achieved a major goal in your life, a milestone, and nothing can change that. You can also say that you have had the most unique ending to a senior year than anyone else can ever say. I'd like to take you back in time about 12 years ago or so. You arrived at kindergarten when you were 5 years old with a toolbox. Yes, a toolbox. The toolbox had a few tools in it, but it had plenty of room for more tools. Over the years, you've been filling that toolbox with more tools to help you deal with certain situations, to overcome some adversities, both in and out of school. At this point in time, your toolbox is starting to get full, but there's still room for more tools, as there will be more challenges ahead for which you do not have a tool. Fortunately, you have developed the ability to forge new tools, and I am confident that you will be able to face new challenges and conquer them. Seniors, soon to be graduates, at times you probably thought this moment would never come. You may have wished that it would go by faster, but at this moment, most of you probably feel like it flew by. To help you remember some of the activities, trips, and events many of you got to experience during your time at Gateway, I generated a list of some of them, certainly not all of them, but a few that you can remember. The Karen Noonan trip, Fun Zone. Some of you got to go to River Valley Ranch at one point. Hershey Park. Some of you participated in corollary sports and represented us in either bowling, bocce, or corn toss. Some of you got to work with the students at Carroll Springs through your experiential education class. You got to help at Special Olympics, help with the LFI prom, Comcast Cares Day, participate and spectate the staff student competitions such as the flag football and basketball and kickball. Some of you represented us in the SGA, both locally as well as at the state level. And let's not forget the end of the year picnic that some of you got to participate in last year or maybe even the year before. Unfortunately, we can't have it this year, but that's a great end of the year event. So hopefully these will be some fond memories from when you were here as a student. A couple of years ago, a student gave me a painting that she had been working on in art class. It had multiple colored background and also had a big elk that had a huge rack painted in the lower corner because she knew that I was a big hunter. She painted a quote on it, and I felt it was appropriate for this moment. It said, "Our job is not to prepare students for something. Our job is to help students prepare themselves for anything." In closing, I know that you are prepared to accomplish anything you set your mind to. I'm proud of you for this accomplishment, and I wish you the best of luck.
I'm Todd Wargo, the Assistant Principal of Gateway School. It is my privilege to announce this year's Senior Awards. The Student Service Learning Award is presented to the graduates who have demonstrated a strong commitment to serving their community. Each of this year's Gateway School recipients have earned over 100 student service learning hours. Congratulations to Sam Renner, 105 hours, Dustin Reese, 106 hours, Caitlin Ahalt, 110 hours, Crystal Mendez, 111 and a half hours, Declan Browning, 112 hours, Ian Huber, 125 hours, Clarissa Perez Morales, 126 hours, and Aiden Anderson 157 hours. It is my honor to announce the 3 graduating seniors who have earned recognition for outstanding academic achievement as part of the President's Education Awards program. These students have demonstrated persistence and perseverance throughout their high school careers, both in and out of the classroom setting. Their hard work and diligence allowed them to excel in the classroom, as each student has earned a cumulative GPA of 3.0 or higher. So, the Gateway School Class of 2020 recipients are Aiden Anderson, Declan Browning, and Danielle Tyler. The State of Maryland Merit Scholastic Award is presented to graduates in recognition of their excellence in scholastic achievement by earning a cumulative average within the top 5% of their graduating class. Gateway School's Class of 2020 recipient of the Merit Scholastic Award is Danielle Tyler.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I am nervous being speaking in front of you, but I want to say thank you to Ms. Crum for giving me the opportunity to do my graduation speech. I want to say congratulations to all the seniors graduating. We've taken a big step and have become an adult, moving into the future. But now, as a senior, we realize that all these days marks an ended, also mark beginning. So it is with education we cannot expect to keep our mind alive forever. With the diploma we will give in here today, for what we have learned in a school, valuable as it only beginning of the lifelong education process built on experience. I want to say thank you so much to Gateway and some of the best teachers, Ms. Marchi, Ms. Thomas, Ms. Ricketts, Ms. Hicks, Ms. Vendimian, Ms. Flagg, Ms. Crum, Ms. Murphy, Ms. Cole, Mr. Clemens, and Mr. Danaher. You all of Gateway staff, you all earn my respect. Today means different things to each of us. To some it has come a welcome relief, to others it is a companion with feeling nostalgia. I will look back in a good time and friends we made. Most of us are looking into the future with anticipation and perhaps some apprehension. I want to say thank you to God for helping me to complete my first step of my dream. We are concerned about what to do with our life, but whether we go to college, enter brand or armed force career, and homemaking duty, we should remember that we are capable of anything we put on our mind to, and we can do work gratefully. The satisfaction we derive from the life, work, and shows depend on our attitude toward it. Senior, we know that the pandemic is not going to stop us from graduating class of 2020 or stop our future from unfolding. All parents has to be proud of their children for achieving this goal. Today is an opportunity to say to your children how much you love them and express how proud you feel. Today, this is dedication for 3 very important people in my life. To my boyfriend, to my mom, to my aunt. I want to say thank you so much to them for supporting me in getting a good education and giving me a good advice. Thank you so much, family. I love you all. Congratulations to all senior graduates. We can say we made it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello, I'm Aiden Anderson. I'm here to say some words and present a speech. Good morning, Maryland. Welcome to Gateway, where I was not expecting to get to use my parody announcement and slogan this year. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about the video announcements. I'm here to deliver a speech, and I'd like to begin by sharing a story with you all. So, back when I was heavily involved with the Boy Scouts of America, we had a yearly boot camp at Pine Grove Furnace, a state park up in PA. The park hike trails, they pass through the Appalachian Mountain Range and the Appalachian Trail. And for those who don't know, that's a trail that stretches from all the way down to Georgia up to Maine, and it covers about 2,200 miles. Anyways, at our first boot camp, we decided to hike a 6-mile long portion of the trail and reach a scenic vista called the Sunset Rocks. Consider that I was 11 at the time, and the most strenuous walking I did regularly was walking a distance of 2 house yards to visit my friends who lived on my street. As you can imagine, I wasn't faring too well. Struggling on the uphill climb with a fellow new scout, we'll call him Ben, and the rest of the troop moved on ahead while one of our assistant scoutmasters, we'll call him Bob, hung back to keep pace with us. When our trio finally made it up the last little hill up to the overlook, we arrived just in time to meet the rest of the troop coming back down. Assistant Scoutmaster Bob turned to Ben and I and asked if we still wanted to see Sunset Rocks. Without hesitation, I told him, "Of course I want to see the rocks. We just hiked 6 miles. I'm not turning around and going back without seeing the rocks." To which Ben wholeheartedly agreed. Assistant Scoutmaster Bob laughed and told us we were very tenacious, and once we returned some very blank looks, I mean, what do you expect? I would know this word in 6th grade. You can ask my English teachers. English is my worst of the 4 core subjects, and I'm well aware of the fact. Anyway, he defined tenacity for us. Tenacity is the same as determination and perseverance. It's pressing on when things get rough. And so we pressed on and saw the Sunset Rocks. The view is beautiful. You could see for miles. I recommend going sometimes if you want a nice hike and an amazing view. Now, I'd like to briefly summarize a few things. I, in elementary school, was a terrible kid. I've shared plenty of stories with people about all sorts of interesting events, but that's not important. What's important is that I got through elementary school despite my misbehavior and moved on to middle school, and I still had a pretty rough time there, but 7th or 8th grade started to turn things around, and I went from going to have about 30 referrals in 6th grade to like maybe 2 in 8th grade, if I remember the numbers correctly. It's been a few years. I'm sure Miss Flagg would love to have written that many referrals for me. Anyways, got to high school, tanked freshman year, and eventually got sent here to Gateway. And I still have a bit of a grudge about that, but I can't be all mad. I met all the wonderful teachers here. And Gateway's the best thing that's ever happened in my high school career. Within 5 months, I'd already grown enough to no longer need an IEP. After a single semester, I had the ability to go back, but I didn't want to. I love it here. And I even pushed further in my 2nd year to become the first Gateway student to enroll within the Teacher Academy of Maryland, or TAM for short. It heavily increased my workload, had a lot of scheduling issues, and it was incredibly stressful, but I did it. And after my 3rd and final year of high school here at Gateway, I've made it through the whole TAM program. And I stand here today as a Gateway graduate and a TAM graduate too. Now, as far as you guys are probably not enjoying all these memories as much as I am because they didn't happen to you, but I got a point behind all this. It has to do with this word that Assistant Scoutmaster Bob told me, tenacity. Throughout these 13 years of schooling I've had, it's a trait that I've had to show again and again. In the face of adversity, I had to keep pushing. As the saying goes, when the going gets going, the tough get tough. That's me. I'm the tough. And guess what? Everyone else here is tough too. That was just my high school experience. But everyone here has been through school, whether you went through it 10, 20, or 50 years ago, or are graduating right here with me today. We've all been pretty tenacious, pushing through the struggle of this absolute train wreck of we call life to be here today. We all have a little bit of tenacity, and we need to keep that tenacity with us. Now, I'm sure you're all tired of hearing news about what I'm going to touch on next, but you're going to have to bear with me. I think it's important to be said, and nobody countered my idea of writing a speech for graduation, so this is technically all on you guys for not stopping me. Anyways, with the current world events occurring, I believe a little tenacity is something we're all going to need. Our country is, of course, currently being ravaged by highly infectious disease, and we're in the midst of one of the greatest crises our country's ever encountered. This is where that tenacity comes in. We need to persevere, and we need to keep going onward in spite of what's happening around us. We need to press on, and never give up the fight to survive. Today, we use our tenacity to slay a challenge in our life. We move forward, wielding tenacity as we need it. That's what I'm doing. That's what my fellow seniors are doing. And this is our sweet victory. Using tenacity is what we'll all do moving forward. We'll keep fighting no matter what the world throws at us, and we'll press on and fight our own war, whatever it may be. We will persevere because we are determined. We will press on because we are tenacious. We have tenacity.
I'm Brian Wetzel, the principal at Gateway, and I have the pleasure of speaking for Megan Glass today. I'd like to start with when Megan first came to Gateway 2.5 years ago. Megan was not very excited to come here, and Wendy, her mom, was having a tough time getting her to come to the building to enroll. Eventually, Megan agreed to come for an intake or an enrollment. And I remember walking in the conference room when you had your intake, and I didn't see you. So I asked, "Where's Megan?" And our counselor, Miss Crone, kind of pointed under the table. And so I looked under the table, and Megan was under the table. I said, "Megan, you got to get out from under the table." So eventually she came out and participated in the meeting. It was a little difficult getting her in the building the first few times. She had to report to school. But once she started attending, she flourished. Megan really started taking advantage of the program and realized that everyone here was here to support her. I looked forward to seeing Megan every day because she was such a pleasant young lady and always had a smile on her face. I enjoyed talking to her and hearing her stories about her animals on the farm. Megan soon became a student leader. It didn't take her long to get comfortable here and become a student leader. She's a role model for other students. She's an active member of our SGA and led by example. She truly cared about other students in the building. If she thought someone was being treated unfairly by another student, she would speak up and help remedy the situation. I admire her for this. Ms. Crone, our school counselor, would often ask Megan to give tours to potential new students and families. Megan, I will always remember your smiling face and the fun conversations we would have. I know you will be successful in whatever you choose to do after high school. I wish you the best of luck, and please know that we're always here for you if you need anything. Oh, one last thing. You can't have my truck for a graduation present. So I'm extremely happy to present Megan Glass as a 2020 Gateway graduate. Congratulations, Megan. You can move your tassel to the left side. I can't hug you or shake your hand enough.
Hello, I'm Ms. Carver, one of the science teachers here at Gateway, and I have the privilege of presenting Caitlin Miller today. I taught Caitlin in both physics and chemistry. What I remember most about Caitlin is discussions about color and hair, a topic that I know something about since I had one year where my hair was either pink or purple, or about her killer manicures. Her nails were pretty much always perfectly manicured and very long. I have no idea how she texted or typed, but they always looked great. It came as no surprise to me that her plan for after graduation is to open her own nail salon one day. Her nail game is just that good. The other big thing I remember about her are her reactions to classroom shenanigans. What do I mean by that? So in my room, I tend to be pretty laid back, and since I hate yelling, I try to handle rule breaking or general goofiness by being sarcastic or using humor and occasionally being sillier than the students. Let's be real, students generally think teachers are lame and ridiculous anyway, so randomly talking like a Valley Girl or something silly tends to get all eyes on me quickly, which means I can get things back on track. I think these shenanigans are what make Caitlin like my class. While she was generally more of a silent observer, she was amused to watch it all happen. And what I loved is when students didn't respond to me or didn't understand why their behavior or attitude was a problem in class, she sometimes swooped in and saved the day for me. She had a way of telling it how it is that made her peers listen. She wasn't rude or anything, but she was very effective in a way that only a peer can be. I loved it and I miss it. Caitlin was always a delight to have in class. She was always willing to help out other students, and she gave great advice to her peers. From what she has told me, school has not always been the smoothest ride for her, and she tried to impart the things she learned on her peers so they would have an easier time. Her peers didn't always take her advice, but she was always willing to help them out. Her heart and compassion will serve her well in life, and I know her future clients will enjoy talking to her while watching her give them a stellar manicure. Good luck on everything in the future, Caitlin. I know you'll be awesome.
Okay, this is my best speech yet. There's no audience, but I'm going to tell you what the audience would do if they were here. You got that? I wrote it in there. Good? Okay, my name is Heather Mackey, and I have the pleasure of introducing Aiden Anderson this evening. Audience claps. Let me start by saying that Aiden holds a couple of records at Gateway for first and only. Aiden was the first and only county champion for Gateway's bocce team. He single-handedly won the county title. Literally, he beat the other teams in the county with no teammates. Audience is impressed here. Aiden played on every corollary sports team at Gateway for 3 years. Bocce was his fall sport, and let's be honest, the sport he was best at. Bowling was his winter sport, and corn toss was his spring sport that he unfortunately didn't get to play his senior year. And Aiden, I'm sure Mr. Clements won't mind if you sneak back on the team next year, even though you'll be in college. Aiden was the first and only student to attend and complete the Teacher Academy of Maryland, TAM, at Westminster High School. This kid walked back and forth from Gateway to Westminster High every day for a whole year, sometimes having to use 2 umbrellas just to stay dry so that he could attend TAM. Audience gasps at his determination. Aiden was on the honor roll practically every semester he was at Gateway, and he maintained excellent attendance year after year. He was Student of the Month, a member of the Student Government Association, and the editor for the video announcements. He was part of and accomplished all of these things while overcoming personal struggles that he did not let interfere with his success. Possible tears from the audience here. After teaching at Gateway for almost 20 years, audience thinking I don't look old enough to teach that long, I can honestly say that Aiden is a student that truly appreciates what Gateway has to offer. He appreciates the staff and how hard they work, and he always strives to convey that appreciation to incoming students and the community. Listen, don't get me wrong, I have many gray hairs with Aiden's name on them because of his uncanny ability to turn in assignments at the very last minute, his drive to make sure his assignments were perfect, and, well, his occasional meltdown. With that being said, I am extremely proud of his accomplishments, how hard he worked, how he never gave up on himself, and how deeply he cares for Gateway. I am honored to present Aiden Anderson as an official 2020 graduate. Aiden, I know you will accomplish big things, and I hope you come back to share those with us. All right, good job.
Hello, I am Rob Schilling, tech teacher at Gateway School. I have the pleasure of introducing Asia Alexander for Gateway School's 2020 graduation class. I have known Asia for the past 2 years, which means I know about as much of her as she needs me to. Insert chuckle from the part of the crowd that knows her. However, I have gotten to observe her in the context of a student and how she's treated by her friends. Asia is a much needed bit of social glue for those who have trouble connecting to others. She's patient, understanding, and honest with them. For that, the diversity of the people she is connected to at school and on her gaming accounts is numerous. When she would eat lunch in my room with her friends, not a lot of conversation was necessary. There was comfort exchanged just in your presence. Still, sometimes the pressure of the social environment would be too much, and we would miss you for a spell. We knew any missed work would be made up diligently, but we miss you. We miss your presence. We wish we could do the same for her. This is the beauty and the catch of being at Gateway. We get to know the students who might not get noticed and feel both their exhilaration when they succeed and their pain when they hurt. Although she has had her difficult times, Asia has had many more times when we have celebrated her success. We feel buoyed by Asia's potential. We're not sure how she will combine her art, academic excellence, and her ability to connect with people. But I am sure, we are sure, that she will be a part of a rising tide that raises everyone's ship. I present to you Asia Alexander.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Karen Murchie. I am the art teacher here at Gateway. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Irvin Omar Castillo, 2020 graduate. Irvin, first I would like to say thank you for your amazing speech you gave to your graduating class, the staff, and attendees. If this was a typical graduation right now, which it's not, we would be standing on the stage at Carroll Community College, waiting in the wings and watching as Asia and Mr. Schilling received the diploma. Once the certificate was in Asia's hand, you and I would be standing between Mr. Clements and probably being very nervous. We would walk together to the podium, and you would stand right next to me, and we would probably hug first. So I'm going to hug you. I know that I probably wouldn't be as nervous as any other time because you would be standing next to me, and you have amazing stage presence. And so with your confidence, I would feel more confident. But this is a different kind of graduation, isn't it? We have to imagine the crowd and all of the officials that would be standing on the stage with us, including the superintendent. Irvin, first of all, all of us who have had the pleasure of working with you have so many wonderful stories about you we'd like to share, but there's just not enough time, not right now. So let me start by simply saying that these sentiments come not only from me, but from all of your teachers and staff and anyone you've met since you've been with us. Irvin is one of the most conscientious, compassionate, caring, hardworking, and charismatic students you will ever meet. Irvin is an incredibly hard worker and is always willing to put in the time and effort in order to succeed. This young man takes his education and his future very seriously. When we first met you, Irvin, you were very shy. But what we did see immediately was his giggle, his little laugh. And that broke the ice for all of us, for all of the teachers. So although you take your education seriously, there's always laughter. So don't ever stop laughing. When we first met, we discovered, you and I, that we shared not only a love for the arts. Irvin is also an incredible dancer and performer and makeup artist. But we also discovered that we had both immigrated here to the United States from another country. We shared our immigration stories with each other and were in awe of each other's journey. We both immigrated here to the United States when we were 10 years old. I from South Africa and Irvin from El Salvador. After surviving the harrowing immigration journey, a lot of hard work, persistence, perseverance, and determination, Irvin Omar Castillo, you are now graduating from high school, and it's been nothing but an absolute joy to be one of your teachers and watch you reach this milestone. I, however, am only one of many other teachers, helpers, interpreters, guides, and those that have helped you to this point. And so, on behalf of all of them, congratulations. I'd like to thank you all for helping Irvin get to this point. It really does take a village to raise a child and a young man. Making his family proud is always a priority for Irvin, and I can assure you, Irvin, that on this day, they are proud. We are all proud of you. It's because of moments like this that I teach, so thank you. Irvin will be attending Carroll Community College in the fall and has applied for scholarships. Irvin's goal is to pursue a career in immigration law. Irvin, you are going to be an amazing lawyer, and you are going to help change and meet other people's needs in all you do. You're going to be great in all you do. Congratulations to you, Irvin, and to your family, and go forth and prosper. I love you. Well done.
Hello, I'm Miss Carver, one of the science teachers at Gateway, and I have the privilege to present Jacob Hess today. I taught Jake in chemistry, and it's been a while since I've taught Jake, and I recall him being more of a silent observer in class. He worked well and learned quickly and kept out of the pure drama, which is always awesome to a teacher. More recently, I had Jake in Flex, and I've been impressed with his work ethic in a class that has no grade and can be difficult to motivate students to work in. Jake came in every day with a computer that he borrowed from Miss Flagg and continued to work on her English work during Flex. He brought the computer because he felt like it was silly to log out, log into a different computer in my room, log out, and then log back in her room directly afterwards, all within about 30 minutes. So he brought the computer with him. Smart thinking. Even though we didn't get a chance to have his mock interview this year before schools closed, he had the best resume I've seen amongst my students in a long time. He worked hard to get everything perfect on it during some of those flex sessions. That ability to focus hard on things that interest him has impressed me in another way as well. I have to borrow what I've heard from other teachers on this one. Ms. Murphy had a research project this year where I believe students had to write a persuasive essay on a political candidate. I heard all the papers and presentations were good, but from what I've heard, Jake was especially interested in the project. He seemed to become very interested in researching the candidate he chose and became interested in voting and the voting process in a way that is not typical amongst Gateway students. He then went on to write a newspaper article on the importance of voting for the Gateway Gazette. It was evident how much importance that Jake placed on voting and being an active citizen. Based on the interest he's shown, I'm sure he's very excited to get a chance to vote this year. Maybe it's my nerdiness, but I very vividly remember how excited I was the first time I got to vote, and I'm happy to see someone his age equally excited to get the chance to be an active citizen for the first time. I know Jake plans on attending college in the fall, and I'm sure that if he continues to exhibit the work ethic I've seen this year, that he will do well. Good luck with everything in the future, Jake, and have fun voting.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mrs. Mary Reed, and I'm an Algebra 1 teacher at Gateway. It is my pleasure to speak about Chelsea Alder today. Congratulations, 2020 grads. Chelsea, C. Chelsea, you are caring and conscientious. I wish you confidence and courage as you step into the adventure of adulthood. H. Heartwarming and a high flyer. My hope is that you find a special someone as hardworking as you, or if not more. E, easygoing for the most part. Your empathy for others is exceptional, and the effort you give to work in others is exemplary. L, laid back, yet loyal to family and friends. You are a lovely person inside and out. There's a lot more for you to learn in life, so never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. S, spectacular smile, sincere and smart. So remember, life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. May you have the strength and self-confidence to live each second without hesitation. E, enjoyment is my wish for you every day as you excel in everything you do. And Y, you are loved by many, and yes, you can do this. So yabba dabba doo, yippee skippy doo. You have made it to graduation, and I love you bunches.
Hello, my name is Mr. Danaher, Dave Danaher. I teach career research and development at our fine school. I'm here to present Cassidy Malott. I had Cassidy in my class. She was extremely intelligent, or she is extremely intelligent, and very nice individual. She is a very fine young lady with a great sense of humor. I would pass her in a hallway sometimes, and when we made eye contact, she used to do the silliest things. She would stick her tongue at it or make a silly face. And it was no matter what kind of mood I was in, it always brightened my day. I was very happy to see her. It meant she was in a good mood. She was loving life here and was always made me laugh. She did the same thing in class too. When somebody else was down, some of her peers, she did the same thing to them. Either made a silly face or say, hey, you okay? You could be worse, you could be me, or something like that. She was really a well-liked individual in all her classes by both the staff and the other students, her peers. She was able to change a lot of the moods in the room just by her little antics that she did, but also she was also very accommodating to the students who were just having a bad day. She would try to help them all the time. She was also very talented in art. She always liked to draw and doodle, as I say, art. But she always put 100% effort in all her work. She did an excellent job in just about all her classes. I can't speak to all of them, but you know, the majority of them, right? All of them. She would be also the one to speak up if she didn't understand a problem. She was also one that had a great quality to help others to better understand the problems by trying to break it down in simpler terms that, you know, assisted us. This helped a lot of people, especially it will help her a lot of times in the future. She was also to assist others with their assignments, and I know she loves to help others in crisis, and she was usually the first one with words of encouragement. She also had a unique habit of, if someone was being bullied or saying something inappropriate, which sometimes was me, she would always say, she'd shake her head, and she'd say, "That's not nice." So I would apologize to everybody and went on from there. But she was always looking for the best in everybody. And I know she'll be very successful in whatever career she decides to do. Because one thing she does, she remembers to put herself, that's the one thing she needs to do. You need to remember to put yourself first. That's the number one thing. You have to do that for yourself. And then you'll be capable of anything you want. Got it? Okay, sincerely, Mr. Danaher, again, future star, Cassidy Milan. That's right. There you go. Yay. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Hello, my name is Jim Clements. I'm a math teacher here at Gateway, and I'm here to present Declan Browning. I first met Declan, or as I like to call him, my teaching assistant, this year when he was enrolled in my 5th mod geometry class. Right from the start, I could see his strong skills he had in math and science. I even thought he loved his awesome geometry class so much that he decided to take 2 more action path math courses with his new favorite teacher. Unfortunately, I later found out from Ms. Crone that he just needed those 2 other math credits. But Declan came here needing a lot of credits in service learning hours in order to finish on time, and including having to take classes at night. Yet, he didn't let any of that stop him. His goal of achieving a high school diploma, just like in class, when he sets his mind to something, you can see that he can accomplish anything, and that's exactly what he did. Including flexible student support classes, Declan had a full schedule of tough courses this year. However, he not only completed all of those credits, but he did so with making the straight A honor roll. He was so determined to graduate that he completed 54 hours of service learning this year alone in order to accomplish that. In my classes, it was not uncommon to see him helping other students, volunteering to take on extra work. In fact, I would sometimes give him worksheets from some of my other classes and just ask him, hey, see if this is hard, or if this is something you think they could do. He took on challenges, and he made sure that I was on my game as a teacher. He would remind me where we left off the day before, and he would take time to explain to some of the other students that were having trouble in different ways that I couldn't necessarily. His stellar math skills helped him achieve an unheard of 99.14% average in all 3 of the math courses combined that he took with me. When I asked some of the other teachers about his qualities, they used words like strong intelligence, very perceptive, easy to get along with, comical, friendly to everyone around him. These characteristics are proof of what I've seen from him during the school year. He's an extremely dedicated, determined, and motivated, bright young man. He has shown the kind of perseverance that any person would like to see in their own child. And you can see now that he has the ability to be very successful in life, just like he did this year. After graduation, he wants to be self-independent and pursue his interest in mechanics. And it has been a pleasure this year to meet, get to know, and teach Declan. I present to you the 2020 Carroll County Public School High School graduate, Mr. Declan Connor Browning.
My name is Christina Crone, and I'm a school counselor at Gateway School. I have the honor today of introducing you to an all-around great person named Vernon Samuel Renner. I call him Sam. Sam started Gateway this fall as a quiet, stay-to-himself kind of guy, but that young man changed over time that he spent at Gateway. The shy young man turned into one of the most well-liked students at Gateway. One teacher described him as one of the most kind-hearted young persons I've met at school. Another teacher described Sam as a quiet student that always puts others before himself. A fellow classmate said, "Sam Renner is a kind, funny, caring kind of person. He always makes sure everyone is okay before himself." These are definitely some great descriptions of him by others. I would describe Sam as a person that everyone wants to be around. He puts you at ease with his calm demeanor and his constant smile. Starting the school year at Gateway, I noticed that Sam lacked some self-confidence. Maybe it was from the years of bullying that he experienced, but at Gateway he found himself. He persevered and was able to come out of his shell and be himself and attend school. He felt safe at Gateway. One day I surprised Sam and asked him to assist me on a student tour. I challenged him. The quiet young man I spoke about at the beginning transformed into a very talkable tour guide. He became my assistant. In fact, he did such an awesome job on the tours, I told him he would be a natural at marketing. I did not need to say much to these families. He sold the program. They fell in love with Gateway just as Sam did. You know the saying that nice guys finish last? Well, this is certainly not true, especially for someone like Sam. Nice guys like Sam are winners before the game even starts. Sam, keep pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Reach for the stars, reach for your goals. Sam is interested in the military and culinary school. I'm not sure if he'll choose both or one, but whatever Sam chooses, he's going to be successful at. This nice guy by the name of Sam Renner will cross the finish line, and he's not going to be the last one. I believe in you, Sam. I will miss you dearly. Please stay in touch. Congrats to you, Sam, and of course the rest of the 2020 graduates. Congrats. Yay!
Sure. Hi, my name is Tom Larimore, and I have the pleasure today of introducing Drew Simus to the class of 2020. Drew's been at our school for close to 2 years, so it's been a long time. Drew joined an outdoor group we do and loves the outdoors, and took advantage of every opportunity to get outside and utilize our trail system and nature around our campus. So please continue to do that. I know that's a passion of yours. It was during those trips that I think you could really see how cool and unique of a student you were. I mean, you really shined outside, and I appreciate all the work you did in those events out there. supportive, caring, thoughtful, just some really strong, great traits that you have. I would say that it was a little difficult to get you back in the building sometimes. We had getting you back in the class once we got out there. But it was great events and great memories for me as well. Drew loves listening to music. Huge fan of Claudio Sanchez from the band Coheed and Cambria, so I heard a lot about that and listened to that. Also incredibly artistic, and recently I saw online your portfolio has gotten just improved continually. So it's seeing that growth, seeing the talent. You really have raw talent there, so please continue on with that too, and continue with that passion. Although you're a more than capable student, I know high school is not always easy for you. I know there's a lot of challenges along the way, and challenges that probably should not have been. And you've had it harder than you should have. And I want you to please look back on that time and know that you were just to have that success and strength that it took you to get through it, and draw back on those experiences. You're a strong-willed survivor. You're just a survivor. And we're grateful having you here. I'm grateful for having you share your time with us here, and just so appreciative of seeing you get through that journey of high school. So always set high goals for yourself. I mean, always go beyond where you think you can go, and keep chasing those goals, and look back on each chapter in your life with appreciation of what you got through. Okay. So again, Drew, congratulations and welcome to the class. Here you go. Yeah, nice job.
Hi, my name is Terry Grant. I'm a health and physical education teacher. And today I'm presenting with student Ian Huber. Ian, it seems like only just yesterday that you were seated in my class as a ninth grader. At the particular time moves slowly. However, looking back on it, I'm sure that it moved really rapid. It's tough to get time once it's gone. Okay, looking back, I hope you never forget the topics that we discussed in health class, because those were priceless, and I hope that I was able to answer your questions. Sometimes I think we create more questions than answers. But it was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I had enjoyed you being in class. I will miss your discussions in our mornings safety commander warning. That was really enlightening. I hope that some of those debates and those discussions that we had were priceless. I'm sure the time will look back on and you think, I can't believe it. The time has gone by, and they become around. I think you enjoyed most physical education. I think the basketball skills unit was just your cup of tea. And I hope that the skills that you learned in those particular activities that you take with you. I've always viewed you, Ian, as a successful student. And I hope that those skills that you learned in basketball, I'm sure that if you take them with you in everyday living, as you go into the world of work, you will be just as successful. And also you'll have a bright future. Okay? At this time, it's my privilege to present to the class of 2020 for graduation, Ian Huber.
Hello, I'm Rob Schilling, tech teacher at Gateway School. I have the pleasure of introducing Caitlin Ahalt for Gateway School's 2020 graduation class. I've had the pleasure of working with Caitlin since last year. In that time, we've worked hard on newspapers and yearbooks. We've taken more pictures than the server can handle, sloshed through some pretty foul-smelling marsh with smiles on our face, and worked through some personal loss. It's been an amazing trip through a short amount of time. Luckily, Caitlin has the pictures. Lots of pictures. There's another one. She was a natural in the yearbook. She had an eye for putting people and landscapes together to tell a story that didn't need many words to complete it. The next challenge for any photographer is how to index, store, and retrieve their work so they can effectively use it in the future. Caitlin, it's time for you to categorize all your experiences. Pull out the key lessons and tag them so when something similar comes along, you know where to look for help. It's time to store some of those precious memories, preserving your thoughts, populating the roadmap of yourself so you can see where you've been, see where you're going. You need to occasionally retrieve your memories so in tough times you can call on them and draw strength from them. Keep reaching out and gathering more images. There will be more challenges to be captured, but you're used to that. Any good photographer knows, and that's what you know. Take it, adjust, take it, adjust, and keep going. Keep your batteries charged and your lens clear. Good travels. I am proud to introduce Caitlin Aho, Gateway School graduate.
Hello, I'm Jerome Georgiana, teacher at Gateway. I met Damien when he was assigned to the East Middle Best program in the 6th grade. Damien began with very little respect for authority and was ignoring the school policy until he was sent to Gateway and Crossroads. At Gateway and Crossroads, he established a sense of importance and eventually became a responsible student individual. We hope this attitude will continue throughout his life and continue to achieve work ethic and success. I'm honored and happy to present Damien Beatty as the 2020 Gateway graduate. Congratulations and good luck.
Ready to roll? Ready to roll. All right. Crystal, I'm glad you could make it. Late as usual, huh? That's okay. I'm proud to have been chosen to speak for you, Crystal. Crystal Mendez. What's your middle name, Crystal? Lynn. Crystal Lynn Mendez. I've known Crystal for about a year and a half, I would say, right? And you've been in several of my classes. I'd like to share a few things about Crystal that I have either recognized about Crystal or information I gathered about her, or I'm simply going to make it up. First, Crystal is a girl, is a lady, young lady, I should say, of few words. Do you all agree with me? Yeah, she's very few words, right to the point. And that was something I recognized about her. And I'm just going to go through a couple of things that I identified. First, Crystal, because she's a lady of few words, I never had to worry about her being disruptive. She didn't say anything, unless she put her head down. But she was not disruptive one bit. Secondly, she came in late often. But you weren't late today, though. You had 2 minutes to spare for this event. So you did pretty good, actually, compared to your record. But my assumption is that, she came in late often is because Crystal probably likes to sleep. Is that correct, Mom? Or I'm thinking that maybe she likes to sleep because she wants to have enough energy because she has to have that energy saved up to say the few words that she says throughout the day. And thirdly, Crystal drives, I believe, is a Hyundai Elantra. Is that correct? Or is it a Sonata? It's a Kia? Yeah. Same thing, Korean car. All right, that same thing. All right. But it's an older car. How's your car running, by the way? This is so funny you just said that. Okay, because you're going to find out. But anyway, Crystal has an older car, and her older car is not equipped with Bluetooth, but that's okay, because Crystal doesn't say much anyway. And anytime I'd ask her how her car is running, she would say, fine, just like you did. You were right on cue. Fourthly, she has a part-time job or she did. I don't know if I imagine she hasn't been working for a little bit here. I'm not sure. But she had a part-time job for DoorDash. Is that correct? And every time I'd ask her how her food delivery business is going, did she have a lot of business this weekend? And here's her response. Good. Typical Crystal fashion. She didn't give me any details, just good. So I'd have to dig for details. I know, how much money did you make, or whatever. And we always had a good one-sided conversation. Now, getting to her future plans, I was like trying to figure out, okay, what does Crystal want to do in the future after she's done here graduating? So I actually text Crone, all right, to find out what your plans were. And then Crone said she plans to do GAP. And I'm like, GAP? What is GAP? And I'm thinking to myself, is it some type of urban acronym that I don't know anything about? So I actually Googled it. But originally I was thinking, does this stand for like graduating party? Or does this mean graduate and prepare? Or is this graduate and get a plan? I just wasn't sure. And then, you know what? It was as simple as this. She plans to just take a year off, then attend community college. Duh. It was that simple. And moving on here, finally, I'd like to say that when I give Crystal a little bit about her assignments, she would do the assignments, very little questions because she didn't like to talk much, but she would complete the assignments fully. And she was always respectful, as I mentioned. She never disrupted class or because she was never chatty. But that is kind of a good thing in a way, because that means Crystal was probably a good listener, because she never had to ask any questions about any of the assignments, and she seemed to get it done and did really good work. I believe that her time here at Gateway, her year and a half, or maybe we'll say a year because she came in late, that she grew more confident as a young lady, and she became somewhat more outgoing. I've seen her interactions with other students, and I think she's made some friends while she was here. And Crystal, the one thing I wanted to tell you is that I want to make sure that you listen to my words here. That gap that I had to research, make sure that is a singular gap, not plural gaps. You got me? Yep. Congratulations, Crystal Mendez.
Clarissa, your day has come. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you Clarissa Perez Morales, 2020 Gateway graduate. I know I speak for all of your teachers here. We have all been so lucky to have you at Gateway these last few years. It has gone so fast, right? So many days just all gone. When Clarissa arrived at Gateway, she was very shy and was somewhat reluctant to share anything about herself. What we did know was that Clarissa did not like going to school. Well, it wasn't long before that changed. By the end of that first semester, Clarissa was here nearly every day for perfect attendance, which continued throughout her time at Gateway. I'd also like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Perez for choosing Gateway and for supporting us in all we do as teachers and allowing Clarissa to arrive at this moment. It must have been day 1 or day 2 that you were in the art room, and you and I started talking about painting. When you started in my class, we were not yet painting. In fact, we were working on, I think it was clay, ceramics. Clarissa came up to me after the rest of the students had walked out of the classroom, and she very quietly but confidently and calmly said to me, "Miss Murchie, would you mind if I did some painting?" I said, "That's fine with me. As long as you finish all of my other assignments, you can paint all you want." I very quickly learned that Clarissa had a deep respect and love for the paintings and techniques of Bob Ross. We shared that love of Bob Ross's paintings. She told me she'd done a few paintings and would like to continue in my class. Well, little did I know that this was going to open a genie in a bottle. The very next day, Clarissa started a landscape painting in class, and it was magnificent. Now, I love Bob Ross skies, but let me tell you that Bob himself would have been proud to see the skies that you paint. Since that day, Clarissa was in my room almost every day after that. We spent a lot of time painting and making art, and she eventually became a wonderful helper. Clarissa actually became what we call Gateway famous for her work, and even sold a few of her pieces. Just before we closed school, Clarissa completed a commissioned landscape painting, which is now hanging on the walls of an oceanside condo in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. To quote Bob himself, Clarissa, this is what he would like to say to you. "This is your world. You're the creator. Find the freedom on this canvas. Believe that you can do it, because you can. Follow your passion in all you do. I know you will always be an artist. It's in you and will reflect in all you do and become, no matter what you end up being or creating for your career." Clarissa is planning on attending Carroll Community College and plans on pursuing a career as a veterinarian. You are so compassionate and such a calm and centered young woman, and your perspective and caring heart will be an asset to all those you come in contact with. Having a positive attitude in life is not always easy, but you always have a positive attitude, at least in my class. An optimistic viewpoint. And even if you do make mistakes, remember what Bob told us. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. I had to put that in there. Believe in yourself, Clarissa, in all you do. Don't ever give up. We, all of your teachers, your family, believe in you. And we all know that you are going to be creative and successful in all you do. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Clarissa, our 2020 graduate. You did it. Well done.
That's it.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Flagg, and it is my honor to speak on behalf of Emily Novak, who could not make it today because she moved, but congratulations, Emily. There are very few people that get you, and you get them, and almost immediately I knew that Emily and I got each other. We had a slightly darker sense of humor than most and would often joke about being dark. You see, although thinking back, probably wasn't joking as much as I was, because Emily has actually gone through quite a lot in her 18 years on this planet. She grew up without her parents being there to support her and had to figure a lot of things out on her own. But she didn't give up on what she knew was important. At Gateway, she chose to focus intently on earning good grades. She cared deeply about doing this and would often ask, "What can I do to get my grade up?" When I eventually looked at her grade, I always remember thinking, this chick is crazy. She already has a high B, her grade is already great, but Emily wasn't happy until she earned that A. And of course, because of her dedication to this endeavor, she consistently made it on the honor roll. Emily was also very interested in photography. I had the pleasure of teaching her in yearbook and newspaper, where her true colors came out. She was laser focused behind the camera and strove to get the best shots, and she did. She even got students to let their guards down and smile just a little bit for those yearbook photos, which was not an easy thing to do. She was also a talented student journalist. She was an outside-the-box thinker, and it showed in her writing. It was that writing that got her featured in the Dear Future Self video that will eventually be shown to middle school students in our county. Prior to being chosen for this, she fought me on writing this letter. She had more important things to do, and she hated writing about herself. Well, I'm more stubborn than she is, and she wrote that letter. And it was beautiful. It actually brought me to tears thinking about how much trauma and anguish she has had to go through in her short life. But she has risen from her circumstances and has blossomed into a fantastic young lady. In this letter to herself, she wrote about how she has never given up, even when things were at their worst. She reminded herself how far she has come and that hopefully people will be proud of her. More importantly, Emily wrote that she hopes that she has not forgotten who she is, and she hopes she is proud of herself. Emily, I am confident that you will never forget who you are. Just in case you didn't know already, you are a beautiful, inside and out, driven, bright, not dark, amazing and strong person. You care deeply and passionately for people, which is something that so many people cannot do. You are special. Never forget that. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that." Your luminosity has driven out the dark, so you can continue your journey with vision and purpose, and you will certainly brighten those around you as well. It was my great honor to present the shining star of Gateway, Miss Emily Hannah Novak. Yay! You're welcome, Emily.
My name is Heather Brown, and I've had the privilege of knowing Dustin since middle school. He came to me, this very small bundle of energy, who was literally half the size he is now. And if I wasn't careful, he would be swinging from the ceiling in my classroom, giggling. And I've had the privilege to watch him grow up into this amazing young man who is standing next to me right now. He is so funny, always cracking a joke, or playing pranks, such as hiding a speaker in Mr. Laramore's office, waiting for him to walk in so he can play an air horn sound that was not expected. He is also so talented. He will build almost anything, and if he doesn't know how to build it, he will figure it out. You just have to say so. I don't think our Penny Carnival could have been the same without all the things Dustin here built for that. He's also kind, caring. I've seen how his peers seek him out for advice. He's also someone I trust to give advice to my middle schoolers because he's honest and he's direct and it's good advice. He's loyal and compassionate, and his actions have shown this over the years. He is the person who will step up and help without being asked. More than once, he has stepped up to help mentor the middle schoolers and help me in the middle school more times than I can count. His boundless energy, more than once he has come to my classroom, sometimes leap over a chair as if it doesn't exist, as if it's not there, and do random flips outside the school for no reason. Yes, we found your headphones, so happy for you. So while this graduation may not look the way we've pictured it, the pride we feel as we stand up here with you has not changed. So thank you for thinking of me to give this speech to you, and I could not be more proud. Congratulations, Dustin Reese, 2020 graduate.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Ricketts, and I have the distinct pleasure to introduce Matt Forney. I had Matt when he came to Gateway during the first semester. Matt, you had the unfortunate experience of having me the entire day while taking classes online. I really felt sorry for you because you had to take an entire class load online because we didn't have the AP courses, unfortunately, available for you to take. Now, even though it was not ideal for you, I'm the one that ended up benefiting from actually having you in my classroom all day long. Sometimes he was the only one that would participate in class when he wasn't actually enrolled in my class. He would even ask questions, or he would even say, "Can I complete that assignment, Ms. Ricketts?" And I'm like, "Matt, you're not even in my government class." He's like, "I know, I just want to see what I know." And usually, actually every single time, he was the one that would get the highest grade on all the assignments. Sometimes he would actually even ask, "Ms. Ricketts, do you need a break? I can get up and teach your lessons for you." Matt was such a positive presence, and he really honestly was a breath of fresh air to have in my class. Despite taking online classes, he would always interject his comments in class discussions, which are always usually thought-provoking and entice other students to participate as well. You did. He even took the time out to tutor other students in our school in the high and the middle school program. He tended to get better results out of those students than most of the teachers here. I would constantly encourage him to continue his education after high school because I know you're going to be very successful. He's currently working a full-time job to save up money to pay for college because he does plan to attend Carroll for 2 years to complete the STEM program. I wish him all the luck in the future and hope that he's staying safe and healthy during this difficult time. It is my congratulations to say Matt Forney, 2020 graduate. Thank you. Good job. Air horn! So my name is Mrs. Flagg, and it's my honor to speak on behalf of Catherine Bernadette Zeffel. And I had the pleasure of getting to know Kat this school year. She was enrolled in my English class, tiny bit guarded, dressed nicely, but most days was all in black, our signature color. Was a bit quiet, and was really striking about her was her absolutely flawless makeup. However, it wasn't long before she started to show her true self, and I'm so glad she did. The transformation from reserved Kat to confident Kat began slowly, but one day she was just herself. Unapologetic, although there was nothing to apologize for anyway. Fearless, sassy, and stunning. And she wasn't hiding behind her makeup anymore. And that was just the beginning. So Kat became a very important student at Gateway very quickly. She volunteered to help others in the building, had a really great work ethic in all of her classes, and had the ability to create a positive environment wherever she went. Her work ethic and selflessness became especially apparent during the extracurricular activities at Gateway. She was a beacon of light and positivity during one of our most prominent events, the trick-or-treating with the Carroll Springs and Pride students. That's where she inspired peace and tranquility during Unity Day festivities. So it was this Unity Day when I really understood how talented of a singer Kat was. She sang for a small audience a couple of times, which everyone really loved. Her singing actually brought me and others pretty close to tears the first time I heard her voice. But on Unity Day, she settled into one room and sang and played the ukulele for her peers as they completed an activity. Her soothing and beautifully melodic voice helped us all take a deep breath and relax on an otherwise chaotic day. Kat was also quite an achiever and liked to see things through to the end. She took interest in a multitude of art projects and would work on them as often as she could. Kat auditioned for and earned a role in the Westminster School play while at Gateway, which is a Gateway alum first. And although it was not the role that she hoped for, she endured because of her determined spirit. Additionally, Kat was elected by her peers to be the SGA vice president. Unfortunately, she was only in her role a short time before schools closed, but I am positive that she would have done many more things to make Gateway a better place, because she already had. So even though I just met Kat this school year,
I know I'm going to miss her dearly. It's not every day that you get to be around someone as faithful, dedicated, and genuine as she is. These attributes will certainly take her far in life, and if she works hard enough, which I know she can do, she may even get to help people through her music, which is something she has a great desire to do. After all, everyone deserves to hear a beautifully resonant sound of a one-woman Kat Zeffel ukulele concert firsthand. It's really life-changing. So it is with my great honor to present you, Miss Kat Zeffel, future famous singer and healer of the world, as a high school graduate. Congratulations. Did I mess up your makeup?
Okay. Hi, Tom Larimore, counselor at Gateway School. I'm going to do my best to get through this, and this is certainly going to be a challenge. Danielle Ann Tyler was pronounced missing on April 6th. Her friends, family, community, the staff here at Gateway School spent the next 5 weeks in worry and concern over her well-being. And that was an incredibly challenging time. And then on May 13th, our worst fears came true when the FBI announced that her life was taken in a horrific and senseless way. The cruelness and timing of this tragedy has incredibly compounded this grief. And as a school counselor, I tell kids we always were trained to help people work through things. But today, in this case, I don't think that's possible. I think the only humane way to deal with this for today, right now, is to try to work around it, and I will do that. In grief counseling, the stage is called denial, and denial is often associated with harmful behaviors and unhealthy parts of our life. So denial is something we're also taught is not something that we should deal with. But today, for this case, I want to try to use some of that, and I think it's a necessary component in grief to help get people through. It gives you the time to heal, the time to be able to process and move through things. So, in this moment, I would like for you, as family, I'm even going to, for myself, to imagine having Danny here, hearing the graduation speech that she earned and deserved to hear. I would like for us to imagine seeing Danny receive the awards, the diploma, and to see her face. For you as family, in this moment, I would like you to feel the pride that you should have felt seeing your daughter, grandchild, graduate from high school. I'm going to try to put us there in this moment. This is not a crowded auditorium, but we're going to imagine it is, okay? And you're going to hear a baby crying. There's always a baby crying in graduations. I've yet to be one when there's not. And there's always a balloon that gets away, always. So imagine hearing the claps, the cheers, of what we should be experiencing right now for Danny. So here's my speech. Danny came to us at Gateway School her sophomore year, so it's fair to say that we've gotten to know her quite well. It's 3 years. We know that she's not a morning person, and she's known to take pajama day way past the school spirit week. She came in each day usually wrapped in a red fuzzy blanket, but somehow always managed to straight iron her hair. And I'm sure she wore out a couple straight irons in the course of her career. Once she was in our building and awake, she turned into the most pleasant, likable, and successful student. And she had great potential that she showed off with us every day. There was a rare occasion that something in Danny's social life wasn't going well, and as we all know, she could take things to 0 to epic pretty quick. But one trait that we truly admired and just loved about her is that she always came back later that day, the next day, and showed just incredible gratitude and just appreciation for any work that anybody did with her. And she cared back for us. And that was just something just really special about her. She completed all of her requirements between our school, Francis Scott Key, and the Career and Tech Center. She got herself into those programs. And she didn't just put her toes on graduation line. We have a lot of students that just get to that edge. She went well over the state requirements. She had 34.5 credits in her high school career, which is an amazing task in itself. Along the way, I know I've seen at the honor roll breakfasts, she hit honor roll quarter after quarter after quarter, almost all the way through high school. Again, an amazing accomplishment. We have an award for you guys for Presidential Award and Award for Educational Achievement. So her grade point average is one that most kids applying for college would be proud and love to have. She had that kind of grade point average and had amazing potential as a student. We know that the closure of this is going to be a challenge, but please know that her heart is with us, and she will be forever remembered for our staff. It's been a pleasure to get to know her and to work with her, and we've learned from her in every way. So I have her diploma here I'm going to give to you, and we also have some of her awards. We're going to move forward. I'm Sherry.
Her